Most of you probably have heard about Roberto Clemente, who in the 1970s was died in a plane crash bringing foods to some of the islands that had suffered hurricane loss. Well, his wife just passed away last week. And I saw an article on there, and their philosophy all this time was, and I'm going to quote, anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world and you don't, then you are wasting your time on earth. And that's precisely what we're trying to stop. We want to make things work.
I have lots, but right now I need to focus on some rebranding and website update.
Oh, we have a guy that's willing to donate all his time. Mark, I told my wife I could do this.
Our funding has been cut for some of our senior programs, and we have a few seniors that are experiencing homelessness that we would like individuals or groups to sponsor so they can attend certain events like Grad Bash and things like that.
Okay, so Project...
Oh, you're going to tell me.
Carolina is, oh, no, I didn't know that was coming.
Hi.
Carolina is new to our program, so she is doing an awesome job, but I think that was putting her on the spot a little bit. Project Reach has many seniors that we do not, our funding is limited to the educational needs of the kids, and we can't find a way to justify paying for Grad Bash or those kind of fun senior activities that they have. And we did take a hit in some of our funding that we used to use to provide that kind of services. So we would love to have agencies, individuals, people, groups. High school seniors. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. High school. It is for high school seniors, and they have all kinds of like fun activities their senior year, and we can find a way to pay for a lot for them. But we can't find a way to justify that being an educational component to it. And these are kids that are classified unaccompanied youth, so they are not in the care and custody of their parents. They're couch surfing, they're living with friends, they're bopping from here to there, and we're doing all we can to get them to school every day, provide transportation, and get them to graduate. It can run anywhere.
It goes from $60 to $150. We work with the schools to waive part of the fee, and then we just give Celebrate Clay a plug here because up to this point, that is how we fund. We have 73 seniors this year, and there's just no way that we'll be able to cover all of this.
And schools are pretty good about giving discounts, or if they can't give a discount, like we'll pay for one and they'll pay for one. So we can still get two, so it's in essence getting it half price. But it is a need that we have, and we just don't have a way to meet that need.
My program, we work with victims of crime who are either looking to relocate, they're looking to gainful employment, is partner with agencies that can help with housing, memorandums of understanding with apartment complexes. I know we have the Clothes Closet and other churches that have their own, sort of thrift store. If we could develop a program where, we can write referrals to your agency for needs, for food or for clothing.
Are you a VOCA?
Yes, I'm a VOCA advocate, that's correct.
And always we can use volunteers for the call center or volunteers as care coaches.
Hi, my name is Lauren Aiken and I'm with Clay County Changemakers. We are doing a beef stick fundraiser. It's $1 a stick, and if you're interested in finding more information, and we get 45% profit back, 45 cents from each beef stick sold, and we're doing cards for a cause, and we're also helping Keystone Heights schools by collecting donation and hygiene products for them. So if you would like any more information on any of that, you can reach us at claycountychangemakers11@gmail.com. Thank you and have a nice day.
We always need brown paper bags, the full-size shopping bags. We use 600 a day, and then the next couple of weeks we're going to be using a whole lot more, and we're kind of short. We are very busy. Our two busiest days of the year are the Friday and the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Over with AMI Kids Clay County. We're working this year with some homeless families in our school program and some low-income families. I know there are a lot of events for Thanksgiving to pick up your food basket. Some of these families don't have cars, so we're just looking for some assistance for families for Thanksgiving meal.
Eric Jaffick informed me that Journey Church has 50 Thanksgiving baskets left over from their Thanksgiving outreach that they did.
Okay.
If you just call the Journey Church office,
Okay.
they are complete Thanksgiving baskets with gift cards to buy turkeys and the whole.
Thank you.
Somebody needs to go get the turkeys for them with that gift card though, is that what you're saying?
We'll go get them.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
For AMI baskets, I'm checking to see if we have any left through what's it called,
Father's Heart.
Yes, and they'll deliver the baskets. And we also have Pinewood Church that does some, so I just sent a text out to see if there's any extra left over.
Thank you.
But people tend to eat every day of the year, so maybe at Christmas time we could do it again, or maybe just for the fun of it in February, March, April, May. So, I mean, it's great, but there's so many baskets at this time of year, there's so much food out there, but the rest of the year people still eat. So just try and keep that in mind if you would. Thank you.
But the biggest need are pens, blue, black ink. Both teachers love those for their classrooms, and pencils, of course, because they run out of those. And then paper, like printer paper, boxes, reams, whatever you can. They've run out mid-year. A lot of them have already run out. So we certainly would love to have lots of that for them for the January 6th event we're doing.
What school is the?
Orange Park Junior High School has been identified we'll have a portable there. There used to be one there, and then it kind of was moved around, but that's where we'll be again.
From Kids First of Florida, I know most of you know that Kids First is a lead agency in Clay County in providing adoption and foster care to kids coming out of abusive situations. We have an emergency situation for a family that just took in a sibling group of 4 kids on an emergency basis, and they don't have beds for them. They're sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor. We're looking for 4 twin beds, not the beds and the headboard, I don't need that stuff. 4 twin mattresses and a frame to put them on. So if anybody has anything laying around that they're not using or they know of anybody, please see me. I'd love to get these people beds so the kids don't have to sleep on the floor anymore.
For temporary?
No, it's going to be for
No, I'm saying for better than a sleeping bag, but Walmart has the twin size air mattresses on sale for $2.50 a piece.
Okay, thanks, I appreciate it.
We got them for a bunch of our scouts for $2.50, better than a.
All right, so keep in mind, if you've got any mattresses laying around or know anybody, that would be phenomenal. Thank you.
The first need is looking for a building. I already talked about that. So if somebody has space, 2 Saturdays, once per quarter to teach this class. The other need is near and dear to my heart. It's called the Fresh Start Scholarship. It's in memory of my mom. And we are looking to give this scholarship to someone who is coming out of halfway house that is trying to start their life over. And we provide mentoring for them. We provide writing their new resume, helping them look for a job. If they get a job and they need to go for an interview and don't have anything to wear, we also provide that. So we are trying our best. I've been looking for a year to find somebody to give this scholarship to, haven't found them yet. If someone knows of anyone, please, please, please contact me. It's free. We don't care what area of town, because if someone is trying to start their business and they want the resources and want to be taught how to do it, they'll go where it's being given.
Have you talked to the Clay Library?
I went in the library. They are all booked up. I mean, I went all the way into March of 2020.
The Feast of Plenty, we're looking for people that might be homebound or whatever. We deliver the Thanksgiving meal on Thanksgiving. So if anybody has a list or whatever, please take the flyer that's back over here so that you can actually make the delivery to wherever it needs to be. With that being stated, we are it's like for individuals, it is not for a party. So we're not caterers, people. So like 1 or 2 people that would like, a really good Thanksgiving meal. And then on a business note, Cuisine Conquers cooking classes is a mobile instructor cooking instructing. I as well am looking for places to hold classes, churches, libraries, businesses, wherever. I am a mobile instructor, so I bring everything with me. So if you guys have any place that you would like to have a wonderful, fabulous person come cook, Just saying, let me know.
I need help, and I have about 25 to 30 sets of brand new luggage. The boxes they're in individual boxes, and the boxes are about 3 feet tall. They're in large boxes, and they're 5-piece luggage sets. They're really wonderful. They were donated to the department, and we have distributed them and shared them with Nassau and Duval County, and I've held some back. This is being recorded, isn't it? Okay. I did keep some for Clay County, so I would like to work with somebody. I'm thinking Mercy Support Services, maybe somebody in this room that could share these sets of luggage that we could hold for families. Quigley House could get some, whomever. But they're in a warehouse in Jacksonville, so we will need to try to coordinate to work together, to think outside the box, to get them here to picked up and stored somewhere in Clay County. So we will have these sets of luggage available for our families that may need them. So it could be families that are, some of the students, they're just really wonderful sets. Yes?
How many do you have for Clay?
I think there are about 30 sets. 30 sets left.
Get the truck, we don't get them.
Okay, all right, so we can coordinate, we'll coordinate that, so we'll be talking.
This is sort of a need, but also an offer. Many of you know we were trying to buy the Clay Theater, and a rival buyer beat us to it, and they very generously donated all the theater seats to us. We've had them in climate-controlled storage for, it's about 2 years now, and the cost of doing that is no longer sustainable. So we have these deluxe cinema seats that we would like to have a home that's not the landfill, but we are getting to the point where they're going to go to the landfill if we can't find them a place. It's 314 seats, it's a lot of metal, it's a lot of nice foam and fabric and whatever. So a church, a school, a theater, anybody who has a need for that, please let me know, because we have to get out from under this storage cost, sadly. So.
Have a need, and I believe that the James boys could probably fulfill this need. I have a fellow professor at Barry University. Her husband was diagnosed with ALS. They've obtained a scooter, but she lives in Arlington, and their home is built off of grade, so they cannot get the scooter in and out. So his ability to move around the house is very limited. Her ability to get him out of the house and into their equipped van is very limited right now, without being able to get that scooter back and forth. So I am looking for a built ramp on her home. She lives in Arlington, and you can contact me directly. Thank you.
Gabby Gunn and Callan Brown for facilitating. Time is the point of the meeting where if you have any announcements about any events you have coming up in your organization, anything you want to share with the community, this would be the time. Let me start it off. Terry Lewis is having the Friday after Thanksgiving, is having a gigantic open house at his house. All the food, all the drink, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight. Bring your friends, bring everybody you possibly know, and we're looking forward to that. All right, who's got any announcements about any events coming up? Anybody? Go ahead, Elaine.
Hi, I would normally announce this next month, but we won't be here. So from January 26th through the 30th is our second annual Playwrights Retreat and Readings. We're bringing playwrights in from all over the country. We're going to have free readings of their works in progress every evening at the VIA from January 26th through the 30th at 7 p.m. every night. You can check our website for actual plays once we've picked the playwrights. But this is a great cultural opportunity for people who might not otherwise be able to afford to go to the theater to see how a new play is developed. Thank you.
Girls do different service projects every month with American Heritage Girls. This month we're doing Selling Wreaths Across America. This is what the form looks like. We have them on the table. They will be placing them on every gravestone of Christians. We don't do for the Jewish because they have them marked, but on every gravestone who wants it, we will place the wreath. And so at this time, we're selling the wreaths to be placed on there. This is actually a program by Morrill and Karen Winchester from 1992 that started in Arlington Cemetery for every single one. Their mission is actually remember, honor, and teach. It's about veterans from the Revolutionary War through present-day conflicts. And the whole point of this is that at many homes right now, there is an empty seat for someone who is serving or someone who has made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. There is no better time to express our appreciation for our veterans than during the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. So you can support them by either purchasing a wreath or coming out with us. We would love to have you come Saturday, December 14th at any cemetery. There are 2 here, one in Jacksonville, Laney Road, and then there's also the one here in Orange Park. And so we would love to have you serve either way.
Identified resources. Some half say yes, we can identify, and half say no. So, y'all gather around.
All right, y'all, we're just going to have a kind of quick informal discussion about these charts and the questions that are on the wall here. If you guys want to come into the circle, please feel free. So I put them up on the wall so you can see them a little easier. So really, we just wanted to get some of your feedback about maybe why you wrote these comments and why you felt yes or no either way. So I'm going to start over here with this first question because it seems like we have a lot of comments there. I believe it has a common vision regarding student outcomes. And I see comments on there around STEM versus formal education, workforce and vocation, need more homeschool support. And then a lot of no's there around having a common vision regarding student outcomes. Why do you feel that way? What's going on here?
So I think, and so I'm at the Clay Education Foundation, and so my job really is to go to the community and meet with business leaders and find ways to meet needs of the workforce and provide better support for literacy, lots of things. So I hear a lot of different observations about the school system, and I work really closely with leadership in school districts. But what I would say is there's a lot of stuff going on in our schools that we don't really know about. There's a lot of CTE, vocational training, like we have welding, electrician, schooling. There is carpentry. There is, there's Middleburg High School has tons of them. Automotive, robotics are in every school, junior highs, and so it really I think is a conversation about what already exists in our school district, what the business community is seeing as still needs. So we can have that, and that's great that there's robotics, so there's this, that, and the other, but if the students are still coming out of school not ready for the workforce, then we still have work to do, and that's okay, it just means we have more work to do. But having that conversation is really important.
Number that they've made available to the whole county. So emergency support services come here, we disseminate the information that is needing to them, plus they do their own research, so that they probably have the most extensive resource list in the ground that's up to date and current. And so they've got a call center.
Community comes together to all the churches to help out the elderly. They donate a lot of different things. So like that, we as a SafetyNet Alliance would come together and help champion those projects to make them successful in our county, because everybody will have a hand in each project, because each project will have a specific need. And so that executive roundtable gets to hear the needs that are in the county. There was about half of the group that attended the Lake County Model meeting last month, and so I did a quick recap of that model and how we can implement it into our county. And the group as a whole agreed that these questions will be addressed if this model is implemented here in Clay County. But the biggest thing is that we have to have the very first project has to be a win, and it can't be a win without all of your support and your resources. So with that being said, when that first project comes about, we're really going to depend on you guys as a whole to help make that project a success. We don't quite know what that project is at this point, but we are hoping to get this implemented in the next year.
Right, so over here in our group, we were talking a lot about school outcomes and then also just the intersectionality of all the problems that are kind of impacting our schools, whether that's housing, poverty, lack of transportation. We talked a lot about how there is a lot happening in our schools as far as like vocational programs and trying to shift that focus of what is going to be the best for the student as opposed to just school outcomes and testing. But there needs to be more of a connection like after that, right? So after you're in school, once you graduate, what's that next step? What's happening after that? And what's the support for students that may take different paths? So really that intersectionality, I think, is something that is trying to be accomplished by this new initiative, right? Of bringing different people to the table as far as government, school districts, nonprofits, a way to really bring us together to work on some of these issues.
In our group, we talked first about, and then kind of came back, circle around to it, but really we talked about the way that we have to identify our needs and our resources, share those needs and resources, communication, awareness, which really solidifies why we're all here and we invest our time in these meetings each month, which is so very important that we can come together, have these discussions, and then we really kind of talked a little bit deeper about the resources for children and families. And we touched on a subject that was a little bit alarming, but that, and this goes back to the mental health issue that we've all talked about, and that there's a need to have some of that support at the elementary school level. So they have it in the middle schools and the high schools, but at the elementary school level where it really starts in the very beginning. So that's something that we might want to discuss for future projects. And so again, we really just talked about the importance of sharing our information with each other each month at this meeting and why these meetings are so important. So thank you.
Trust us with so much, so many duties, responsibilities, and the pleasure of serving others. We ask, Lord, that as we depart this day, that you would give us the strength to look into our community for ways to love our neighbors and provide for their needs. Help us always to trust in you, and as we move through this holiday season, lift our spirits, that we may find true hope, true joy, and peace always in you. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.